Peace, world. Welcome back to another episode of Retired Rector Podcast. You're here with your host, Khalif Wyatt. Feels good to be back. And I just want to use today to really highlight a few men in my life who really, helped shape me. And what really brings this episode to light is a conversation I had about 3-4 days ago with my coach Rod. Shout out to Coach Rod Westcott, man. Great guy. Super impactful in my life. But the conversation we had, it really just put everything in perspective for me and really kind of summed up what I already knew, but he really just made it he put it in a way where it was just like, you know what, like, I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm going in the right path. And just like, and just coaching and wanting to mentor and wanting to help young men and really, help build them from boys to men. That's really the path I'm on as a coach. And just the conversation we had, man, he took me back, and it just made me even more appreciative of the men that I did have around me through my path, through my journey as a young adolescent, as a young athlete. Because it's just so many different ways you can go. And I'm just grateful that I went the way that I went, and I went that way because of the men who were around me. And I like to start that out with my brother. I got a brother, shout out to my big bro, Z Reed. He's 8 years older than me. And he's the reason why I even picked the basketball up. He's a basketball junkie, fanatic. That's all that was on TV when we were kids. It was either Martin, wrestling, or basketball. That's all that was on TV. And he, as a big brother, he really put the ball in my hands. And he really just guided me. He guided my steps. He kept me in gyms, not even necessarily working out or playing, but I was always in gyms watching. He would have practice, or he would be going to watch a game, and I would just be there. And just environment is so important for when you're trying to, shape who you're going to become and who you're growing into. Like, environment is everything. And my environment as a kid was basketball gyms, was basketball practice, was basketball on TV. It was my Fisher-Price court in my living room. It was just basketball. So that was like, by default, my focus was just basketball. I grew to love basketball, and it was just because it was around me. And I definitely want to thank my brother for that. He guided me all the way throughout my entire career. But definitely the most important thing he ever did was, just that, create that environment for me as a kid to dream. Like, from the rip, I was dreaming of being an NBA player. I didn't even know nothing about nothing. I just know that I wanted to be in the NBA. I wanted to play professional basketball, and I wanted to continue to grow as a basketball player. I didn't know how. I didn't know what it would take. I just know that's what I wanted to do, and that's half the battle as a kid, knowing what you want to do. So that's the best thing he ever did for me, was just really, like, ordered my steps. So definitely shout out to Big Bro. That's the first man I wanted to highlight. Then I want to fast forward to sixth grade, I would say. I'm in Norristown. I'm not really known as a basketball player. I mean, of course I'm playing, but I'm not really, like, super buzzing like that. And there was a man named Mike Curlew, and he created a program called the Norristown Knights. And this was really like, it wasn't my first travel team, but it was the first time that I was, on a team with really good players. And, we were traveling around the tri-state area. And just the things that Mike Curlew was doing, looking back, the things he was doing for me and all of my peers at that time, things that I know cost him money. It definitely cost him time. But the things that he was teaching us, the principles he was instilling in us, and and it wasn't basketball. Like, I can't remember an X's and O thing that Coach Mike taught me. I can't remember a skill on the court that he taught me, but he taught me a lot about being a respectful young man. Uh, he taught me a lot about, just valuing friendships and just being a good person. The conversation I had with Coach Rod, what it did for me was it kind of just brought to light all the men I had in my life who done things for me, and there was no motive. Like it was nothing I could do. It was nothing I could do. It was nothing I could give to my brother. Like for it was nothing he was looking for in return for what he was doing for me, the knowledge he was giving me, the environments he was putting me in. It was nothing I could give in return to Coach Mike. Like it was like he was picking me up from my house, paying for meals, taking me all around the tri-state area. Like he never asked me for anything. Like it was no like nothing he wanted in return. I didn't have to, you know, tell the world how good of a person Mike Curlew was. Like he didn't want anything in return. He just wanted us to be, respectful young men. And that's that's just is just super valuable. Having adults around you who don't want anything in return, but to see you grow and to be, you know, respectful young men and functional men in society, and like who can, live out here and not, you know, just get into all types of nonsense, or how to talk to people, you know, what respect is. It's just super valuable. Um, so yeah, definitely shout out to Coach Mike because he was the start really of people getting to see me. He would take us to all around the city, like the little rec leagues, the CYO leagues. We used to be on 52nd and Chestnut at that YMCA. We used to run into really all the top players in the city, and that was really their introduction to me, and that was a lot of their introductions to Norristown. And it was just dope that environment that he put me into, just be seen and to you know experience those things was is really some of the best experiences of my life I had with the Norristown Knights. Um, so definitely shout out to Coach Mike. And then it progressed to Coach Rod. That's how that relationship even happened with Coach Rod, is through Coach Mike. We was going to these tournaments, and Coach Mike had to go away, and because of the relationship I had formed with Coach Rod through the relationship with Coach Mike, Coach Rod, from that moment that Coach Mike went away, he took me right under his wing. And that was like, he didn't have to do that. Like I wasn't that good. That's the funny part about it. I wasn't that good. I wasn't like this 5-star recruit who had all these schools on him from 8th and 9th grade. I was overweight. I could always score. I could always shoot. I knew how to play, but I was at that time, Norristown Knights, um, Coach Rod with Philly Soul and Team Kobe. I was never the best player on my team. I was never even like top 4 or 5 on any of those Coach Rod teams. So the fact that looking back at it, that he was doing all that stuff for me, which was like he lived in Southwest. We would come back from Virginia, a road trip. That's a long ride. He would drop everybody off in the city, and then take me all the way to Norristown, an hour out of his way, and then have to go an hour back to his house. Like he didn't have to do that. Like that was just super dope, just for me to put in perspective of the things that people were doing for me with no ulterior motives. Um, and like what he did for me was huge. Like he really created a buzz behind Khalif Wyatt. Like he would fight for me in rooms that I wasn't in. Like, and that's you can't put a price on that. He would be in I call him he would be in war rooms. You know how they have these like showcase game, All City Classic, Eddie Griffin Challenge, stuff like that. He would be in there, and they would be like, "Yo, Please stop telling us about. No, Khalif, we're not putting him in. No, I know that's your guy. No, he's not. He's not. No, he'll be in there. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all, Fat Boy can play. I'm telling y'all. And Coach Rod, he told me one of my most valuable lessons: stay ready, so you never got to get ready. Like we used to go to. I used to go everywhere with Coach Rod. Everybody used to think that was my dad. They used to think that was my dad. He used to always bid and tell people that that I was his son. But I used to go everywhere with him. So at that time, we had like a lot of the top players in the area played with Coach Rod. So we would always be at the All City Classic, Eddie Griffin Challenge. You know, all the big events in the area, I would always go to with Coach Rod. He would always say, "Bring your sneakers. Bring your sneakers. Just bring your sneakers. I know you're not on the roster. Just bring your sneakers." And I done played in numerous amount of All-Star games that I had no business in just because I had my sneakers. He told me to bring my sneakers, and you know somebody wouldn't show, and boom, I'll be playing in the All City Classic. I'll be playing in one of those games, and that was in like eighth grade. That was in like eighth, ninth grade, where you know there was no respect on my name at all. We laughed about the fact that you know by the time I was in 11th grade, 12th grade, it was like he was like, man, was like, I ain't have to fight for you in them rooms no more. You was already I had to fight for other guys. You know, by the time you was in 11th grade, 12th grade, they was, you know, you was everybody's first pick. Like, oh yeah, definitely leave. Who else? So that was just funny, just to hear those stories, and really just for me, it just showed me that you know somebody was you know really working on my behalf, but he didn't have to, and there was nothing that he was asking for in return. He was going out of his way, out of his pocket, his time that he spent, and it was genuine, and that was just super dope for me to you know, put in perspective, man. And then to move on, we're gonna move to J Mac. Shout out to J Mac, man. He's a guy in town who, you know, who always just, you know, looked out. And he was just a good dude, man. He was a good dude. It wasn't like he was in the streets or he was just a good old head, man. He is still to this day just a good old head, man. He gave me so many gems and just about being a young man and just how you know how growing up and like things that you need to be equipped with as a man. Like he taught me so much. And then as far as basketball goes, he like I said, he was fighting for me in rooms that I wasn't in, and that's just super valuable. J Mac is the one who linked me with Team Final, which eventually led to my scholarship. You know, like I didn't have any scholarship offers prior to Team Final, prior to that summer, that my junior summer. I didn't have any college scholarships. I had a great junior year. My team went 20. Who we go? We was 32-2. We lost in the district championship and the state championship, both to Chester. But I didn't have any scholarship offers. And that summer, J Mac linked me with Team Final, and you know, of course, I was playing on that EYBL. Well, it wasn't EYBL at the time; it was just a Nike circuit. I was playing on that Nike circuit, and I was, you know, playing with Deion Waiters and Lamar Patterson, and you know, a lot of the top guys in the area. And you know, eyes began to get on me. I started getting scholarship offers, and you know, that eventually led to me signing the Temple, which is like, you know, so if you listen to the story, you're listening to how all these men are really guiding my steps without even, I don't know if it's intentional, but without them, I'm looking back and saying, damn, I'm trying to picture my life without these men. Like, I can't. It's like, damn, who am I? Where am I going? Who am I? I don't know. And then we keep moving right along to Fran Dunphy. Shout out to Coach Dunphy. That's my guy, man. Coach Dunphy is my guy. He's the only guy. He's the only man today that can call me and really like make me cry. Like I'll be like, I don't know. It's just like he got a special part in my heart just because I know the kid that he got at 18, and I know who left campus as a 22-year-old, and just the who that person was at 18 and who that person was at 22. You can't put a price on the things that he taught me and the things that he instilled in me. And man, like I put him through hell, man. Like I walked on that campus and I was not the best teammate. I was not the best kid. And I left off that campus respected by everybody on that campus, respected by my coaching staff, respected by my peers. And that's all due to him. Just the things that he taught me. And, I learned a lot of those lessons the hard way, man. Like, the hard way. I like to tell this story, man, because this is a telling story. My freshman year, my assistant coaches was fighting for me to get redshirted. They're like, all right, he's not going to play this year, so let's redshirt him. And Coach Dunn verified this story. He said in that room, he was like, we're not redshirting Khalif. We don't know if we want him for 4 years, let alone 5 years. And that's how he felt. That's how I was making them feel throughout my freshman year. I was, just not the best teammate, not the best. Like, I just needed a lot of improvement mentally and maturity wise. And they just weren't getting through to me at that time. And yeah, Coach Dunn said, I don't know if we want him for 4 years, let alone 5. And I mean, you guys know how my college career ended up going. I ended up being the best player in the entire conference my senior year. So, like, that what he instilled in me from that 18 to 22 age is I don't even have words for it, honestly. But to really sum all that up, that's why I'm getting into coaching. That's why I'm in coaching. I'm in coaching to have the impact on kids that Mike Curlew had on me, that Rod Westcott had on me, that my brother had on me, that Jay Mack had on me, that Fran Dunphy had on me. They shaped me. They saved my life. They shaped and saved my life. Like, there's really no other way to put it. And I'm just super grateful for them. And I'm super grateful for the experiences and all that. And I'm excited to be able to play that role for other kids, man. And I know I'm capable of it. And I'm actually looking forward to it, man. Like, up at Westchester right now, I already know for a fact that I help kids. I know that kids are better off with me there than without me there. And that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling, man. Knowing that you can help and knowing that you can be that voice of reason. You can be that ear to listen. And you can just give sound advice, genuine advice. And there's nothing none of the kids at Westchester can do for me that I want in return, except for them to go into society and be functional young men and respectful young men. That's all. That's the only reward I'm looking for. But yeah, like I just that phone call with Coach Rod really sparked this episode, and I just wanted to get that off. That having men around you who don't have ulterior motives and can give you genuine sound advice is priceless. And kids, just be aware of the men that you have in your life. Because if I had different men in my life and I was listening to different people, my whole entire life would have went in a whole different direction, just simply based off of who I was listening to. So just be super, super cautious, man, and just, make sure guys are in it for the right reason. Make sure they're giving you advice for yourself and not for them. From the outside, I'm really seeing a lot of adults who are in it for themselves, and that's just not it. Like, it's no shine. Like, I don't want no award for my kids going on to being whatever they're going to be. I just literally want them to be great young men. I want them to be able to call me 20 years from now and say the things that I just got done saying about the coaches who I was talking about. I want them to invite me to their wedding and stuff like that. That's what's going to mean a lot to me. Them calling me 15 years from now, or not even 15 years from now, checking in on me monthly and yearly, and just like, what's going on, Coach Leaf? How are you? Or just keep me updated with their life. That's what's going to be the reward for me. That's really the sum of this story. Shout out to my Coach Rod for that phone call, man. That was dope, man. And me and Coach Rod, we talk at least once a month. But this month was special, man. It hit my heart. Like, it hit my heart, and it made me really see the potential in what I'm doing and the potential of the the lives that I can affect. And I know that it's possible because it was done for me. And I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, man, I'm excited. It's like a fresh start for me in this coaching space and this mentorship space. Um, and I'm just looking forward to it, man. So that's all I got for y'all today. Definitely, man. Make sure y'all tap in with the YouTube, tap in on the Instagram. Send me some guests y'all might want, some topics y'all might want me to touch on. Um, but yeah, man, we rolling, and I'm excited to be back. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.